A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to Bandtastic on HGN Season 3. So, I guess what we can do here is we can talk a bit about another somewhat obscure band compared to a lot of others. I've talked a bit about such bands that were not as well remembered as others, like Cage the Elephant, Hole, and even Matchbox 20. But here, let's go with at least one last instance before I move on to some bigger and better pieces that I remember very much as a kid. Collective Soul. Part of the reason why I mentioned these guys is because of their 1995 album, which is just simply titled, well, I guess first thing, if I can find it on my phone, then pretty much, well, it's a self-titled album, as you can see here. Yeah. Of course, we know that one of their biggest singles is known as December. Doesn't really make a lot of sense because the name December doesn't really appear in the lyrics. What the heck is that all about? Though I do have another album from them in 2018 known as Blood. Yeah. A pregnant woman is pretty much what it is. It looks to be behind a shower pane of glass, like in a shower. I'm not so sure what exactly it's supposed to mean, but by all means, I will say that Collective Soul, while it's not necessarily well regarded or even remembered as much as most other bands from the 90s, they sure have had themselves a pretty notable success. And even after 1995, they sure were able to do quite well elsewhere. And I could probably say a few other things about them, but it's more self-explanatory if you basically check out the works yourself. I'm not just talking about the single known as December, but I would probably much rather refer to some of the other albums that they've made, and likely I'll probably get my hands on those as well, and see how well their work has basically evolved or possibly devolved to some extent. But you know what though? To cap things off here, they're a band that's notable for their pretty particular series of guitar riffs and drum solos. A lot of times there's not necessarily vocals in their songs, but you don't really need vocals in order to make a good song. That'd be like saying you need technology to make a good video game, or cameras to make a good movie. But all that is completely different. It might be Bedlam, or it could just be something entirely. Well, I guess with that in mind, thank you much for watching another piece of Bandtastic. And as we pretty much go through the rest of the home stretch, we're definitely going to have a lot more to talk about in terms of bands of all types. And so, with that in mind, I'll see you next time here on Bandtastic HGN Season 3.